So yeah, I kinda want to make a video today about talking about Raiden Shogun's after farming her artifacts for a little bit. Yeah, I know she's only level 69, her weapon is probably worse than whatever the hell we're gonna get from MiHoYo for Genshin's first anniversary, and her artifacts are fine. Are you using the new Emblem of Fate artifact set for her? It's in general a great set. Overall stats though, 55.9 crit rate, 118.4 crit damage, and 264 energy recharge, which converts into roughly about 65.8 electro damage. The talents are 1, 5, and 6. Constellations, C1. Look, I know this may seem a bit too early to give opinion on a character for some people, but I'm usually able to grasp a character pretty well pretty early on. Azula was pretty strong even level 40, Diluc was okay, and I was one of those insane people that brought a level 40 Zhongli with level 1 artifacts into Twisted Realms to claim 7k points. It was pretty obvious right out the gate that he was an amazing character for the meta back then, though things might actually seem to change pretty soon. So what about our precious Raiden? Well, to look up properly, I want to take a peek back in the two previous Archons. After all, it's one of the major reasons for the high expectations placed on her. When he was an absolute boss on his first release, the enemies were light and they'll all easily be sucked up in the air, making damage really easy to pile up. It made it really convenient for many levels of the beast, especially the old floor 11 chamber 2. Fuck that level, like especially. And with the meter buff in 1.6, it still remains a great unit even today, with the swell damage going off the charts of elemental mastery stacks, which is still really good against large enemies, especially if you're able to freeze them and trap them all inside the black hole created by Venti, dealing a really good amount of damage. Zhongli out above gives a really good numbers with Q. He gives the strongest shield in the entire game with no comparison, the second being Diona, which is really far off. Alongside his shield, his pillar also helps to do a small amount of damage, generate particles, and oh yeah, he also decreases enemy defense, making him basically the best unit in the entire game in my own personal opinion. Now with all that in mind of who her competitors are, let's look at Raiden. Inside the team with Azula though, Raiden's performs pretty well. With her level 1 weapon, Azula was able to hit 100k with her Q, which is actually pretty impressive in my own personal opinion. The energy particle generated after Raiden's burst fills up about 50% of Azula's Q, which is only about 30 to 40 energy particles, which I really don't think is enough, especially with Raiden with 264% energy recharge equipped, which I do think is actually quite underwhelming considering the fact she's supposed to be a really good battery. Inside a hotel team with Xingqiu, it comes as a huge surprise to me that the team actually does indeed work. After using the normal tech with Hotel to activate the rain swords coming down from Xingqiu, there's usually some small opening of time between the rain swords and also Raiden's elemental skill, so you're able to actually do a charge attack for the vaporize before Raiden's elemental skill does the electro slashes, allowing you to vaporize and then superconduct. It's actually pretty neat, but sometimes the timing can be difficult, especially after Hotel runs out of stamina and you're forced to do some normal attacks, then which the vaporize damage can be really inconsistent and pretty annoying to use. Considering this is a team inside of Hotel, if you want to increase Raiden Shogun's burst damage, which with a Bennett or something like that, you can also interfere with Hotel as well for overhealing. With level 6 on her burst damage, I feel like her damage is right for the normal world, but definitely not enough for the beast. Though a larger issue I should see with her kit is that she feels like she nowhere near generates enough energy particles for the whole team. Besides always supporting Azula with superconduct, I often feel like Raiden's elemental skill often does nothing, both in terms of damage and also energy generation. Because of this, I actually want to use Raiden's Q a bit more just because it comes back really quickly. However though, from personal experience though, even with C1, her results come back super slow, and using a burst as soon as it's ready is losing a lot of damage due to lack of resolve. The more I use this character, I feel like this current C1 should be part of her original kit, and the extra C1 should make her result come back even faster. The fact that Raiden's E skill or elemental skill doesn't work against shields and doesn't activate on top of shields is something that actually annoys me a lot, as I feel like that'd be one of the major selling points for her, just for breaking shields, and that can become really handy, especially with the fact that she's actually dealing electric damage, so that will work against the majority of the shields. Using Raiden with Xiangling and Xingqiu, the vaporize isn't always constant. The fact that Raiden's ultimate doesn't work like Xingqiu's and can be used alongside Beidou's ult makes me go literally mental. A small mention as well is in regards to a passive to decrease weapon essential material for the cost of Mora. This seems a bit useless to me, just decreasing the 50% of Mora cost for sending a weapon. If it was like 10% decrease for all Ascension enchantments, I think that'd be a lot more useful. To end the video off though, I think Raiden Shogun is actually pretty fun to use. Her skills looks beautiful and her character model is extremely well polished, and her kit looks pretty interesting as well. However, with all that said, I personally don't think she gives out nearly enough energy particles to her whole team. Her reserve for C1 and C0 takes too much to build, and her fact her burst doesn't work alongside Beto's, I see that as an issue. Though you can always use Beto's burst during Raiden Shogun's burst downtime. If I wish on Raiden's banner expecting an Archon like Venti or Zhongli that's suitable in just about every single team, I would say I would have been extremely disappointed. Her damage is a bit low. Aside with Zula, I struggle to fit her inside team, which I don't feel like I'm forcing her inside of. And overall though, I just feel like she's a character designed to be buffed later on. Anyhow though, that's my personal opinions on the character so far. I personally feel like she's a bit of a letdown, but that's just my take on it. I hope everybody else has a good day and wish everybody has a good health. Bye bye.